Alright, welcome back. So right now we're going to be looking at a real world situation that's using a formula, and the formula is for the cost to park in a city. So the cost to park in a city is given by the formula C is equal to 8 plus 2h, where h is the number of hours. So the cost of parking depends on how long you are there. And this will allow anyone using this formula to calculate how long they would like to stay, how long they can afford to stay, or even potentially how much money the car park will make based on how long someone stays. So the first one A asks us to find the cost of parking for 5 hours. This means when h is equal to 5. So when h is equal to 5, C is going to be equal to 8 plus 2 times 5. That means C will be equal to 8 plus 10, and C will be equal to $18. Now it doesn't actually specify that you are going to be using dollars anywhere else but the second part, so just read a little bit further, but it is fine to just assume sometimes, especially considering where this is coming from. Alright, let's look at the next part. Right, so for part B, we have a customer paid $22. That means that C is equal to $22, right? That means that we have to rewrite this expression, but not in terms of h, in terms of C. So C, instead of writing it out the front, we'll write 22 is equal to 8 plus 2h. Now we're going to solve it to find how many hours they parked. So based on how much we paid, we can now work out how long we were actually there for. Right, so we have 8 plus 2h and we have 22. So what we want to do now is take away 8 from both sides. We take away 8 from both sides and we're left with 14 is equal to 2h. And we can rewrite that as 2h is equal to 14. Now to get rid of this coefficient, we just want to divide both sides by the coefficient. So dividing 2h by 2 we get h, and dividing 14 by 2 we get 7. So we were there for 7 hours. Alright, let's look at another example. So this one is about fuel cost. So we've ultimately got a formula here that determines or gives us the cost of fuel in dollars based on how long we've driven. So the first one A asks us to find the fuel cost to drive 150 kilometers. So our fuel cost will be equal to 0.12 times 150 plus 5. Now notice I'm not including the units at the moment. Save that for the end. Oftentimes when it comes to units that involve letters, especially when we have formulas or equations, people can sometimes lapse in their concentration and assume that they are in fact a different pronumeral, or make them look sometimes like numbers. Alright. So when we're doing 0.12 times 150, we can change it to be 12 times 150, and just remember to put these two decimal places back in at the end. Right? So it's 12 times 150, well 10 times 150 is going to be 1500, and then 2 times 150 is going to be 300, so we end up with 1800. But we have done that on the basis of 12 times 150, so I have to put back in those two decimal points. So the result, F will be equal to 18 plus 5. That means F is going to be equal to 18 plus 5 is 23. So the total cost of traveling 150 kilometers is going to be $23. Now, additionally, if I put in kilometers or any units up there, it has nothing to do with the answer, so we just need to remember that units, save units really for the end. Alright, looking at B, if the total cost was $29, how far did the car travel? So let's rewrite this expression. F is our total cost, so we're going to write $29 is going to be equal to 0.12 D plus 5. Okay, so first off, let's get rid of this extra term and take away 5 from both sides. So 24 is equal to 0.12 D, or 0.12 D is equal to 24. Now to get rid of this coefficient, we just divide both sides by the coefficient. So dividing 0.12 D by 0.12, we'll get D is equal to 24 divided by 0.12. Now there are a couple of ways you can do this. You can convert it to a fraction. That's pretty easy. This becomes 24 divided by 12 over 100. And when we're dividing fractions, we can do 24 times 100 over 12. So to convert that division into multiplication, all we do is take the reciprocal and flip it on its head. Now we can find some cancellations here, so 12 and 24 can be cancelled. Let's divide both sides by 12, in which case this becomes 1 and this becomes 2, and we're left with D will be equal to 2 times 100, which is 200. But not just 200, it's 200 kilometers. Alright, that's it for this episode. Hopefully it was helpful, and I will see you in the next one.